Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Today I'm talking about ignition. How do you get yourself lit, on fire? Become an embodiment of Agni Yoga, the yoga of fire, especially if you're going to burn through the obstructions or the impediments that cause unnecessary pain and suffering. When you die, you're not going to say, how come I didn't spend more time in the office? Hopefully you won't say, why didn't I spend more time connecting to my spiritual taproot? And that's called Atma Darshana in yoga, the vision of the self, that your mind becomes a mirror that's going to reflect back to you, the seer. So if you use your intelligence as a discriminative faculty, it'll lead you to see the part of you that, as they say, abides in its own abode in the pure state of existence, I guess, which is spirit, you could say. So one of the first things you want to do is realize that yoga offers you a whole series of micro changes that create macro changes, things that go across a number of different disciplines, and yet they affect them all at the same time. For instance, how you breathe affects your mood, your nervous system, your energy level, the various biological processes in your body. Just by changing one thing like your breath, how can that change the rest of your whole life? Or your posture. And I'm not just talking about yoga asana. How does just the way you sit or stand or lie down or walk or move belie other states of consciousness? So the whole idea, of course, in yoga is it doesn't happen in one fell swoop. There's a cumulative benefit. It's an accrual system. The more you do it, the more benefits you're going to get from it. So most people don't have the endurance or the perseverance to stay with this over time. But they're telling you really clearly, if you strike the rock 20 times and it doesn't break, don't give up, because the 21st blow might be the one that cracks it all, and the first 20 blows were preparation. So we're not used to following processes for so long, like decades at a time. And it's not that you don't get benefits all along the way, but sometimes we get disheartened when it doesn't happen as quickly or in the way that we expected. One of my teachers says it's like drilling for a well, and you stop after 50 feet because you didn't hit any water, and you stop, you go somewhere else, you start drilling again. Take one hole all the way down, and you'll strike water. That's the idea. So stay with it. And of course, by studying the yamas and niyamas, which means you're trying to work on the part of yourself that can put out a greater moral self, a greater virtuous self, a self that understands there's no excuses, just do it. So you become what I call social capital. You're embodying those qualities of sincerity and friendliness and openness and trust. And of course, by invitation, it invites other people to do it as well. So first thing I would always say is watch your breath. Your breath is a great way of tuning from the conscious mind to those things which are less conscious. You can call them subconscious if you want, or even unconscious. And it'll help bring it up as you slow your breath rate down. You'll shift your brain waves. But your breath is another great way to meditate on impermanence. It doesn't last. It comes to go. You can't hold on to it. Right? At some point, you just got to let it flow. Life begins with breath and ends with the end of breath. So we want to pay attention to that on an ongoing basis, and you're always one breath away from coming back to paying attention in the here and now in case you space out. So the other thing I'd like to remind you is to find the right location, the right environment for yourself, the right satsang, the other people who you can find fellowship with, the truth seekers. So another way of asking the question is, who raises or lowers your self-esteem? Don't hang out with people who lower your self-esteem. Find the people who see you, who get you, who recognize you, who help you to be more awake, who are on the path, you could say. And then you learn to ignite yourself and step forward, take a step up. You're going to progress whenever you risk to do these things. And the key is always to chunk it out, cut it into bite-sized pieces. So any project you have becomes a mini goal in and of itself by discrete little steps you take along the way. You know what they say, inch by inch a life is cinch, but by the yard it's hard. So I hope that we all face the fear of the unknown, face the fear of being rejected by people who don't like what we do, what we say, face the fear of looking foolish. Don't cling to fleeting achievement, but find the values that endure. And then with determination, let's all step forward, because it's not about what other people say, social verification in the eyes of others, but impeccability in our own eyes. So continue, and you'll have the success and self-esteem that you deserve.